Welcome, everyone. I want to share with you how you can use your Jinky's profile in the True Sidereal version, because I am right now actually in the phase where I signed up for the Jinky's online retreat that starts in April 2024. And I'm doing it with the True Sidereal version of my Jinky's profile. Now, if you're new to this, just know that the regular gene keys and also the regular human design is always based on the tropical astrology. Now, this is my personal journey. I have loved my tropical chart contemplations from my human design and also the gene keys for the last 3-4+ years. And it has been absolutely life-changing. But the way that my path has evolved and where my sacral, where my body has been pulling me, is towards something called True Sidereal Astrology. I did another video about that whole topic. You're more than happy to watch that. You will find this all on my channel here. And there's not that one is right or wrong. It's just what resonates most with you. And where I'm at in my evolution right now, I just feel really, really pulled to dive deeper into my True Sidereal chart. And if you feel like that yourself and you also want to use this now for your Gene Keys contemplations, because I have received some of those questions from you wonderful, beautiful human beings. And I was like, let me make a video about this, because I will actually do the Pearl sequence, and this time with different Gene Keys that are actually in my True Sidereal or Cosmic Gene Keys profile. So I want to show you how you can do that. And there's two different ways. And for that, I will actually share my screen because you will much easier follow along with what I'm saying. So the first one is that I use Genetic Matrix. And when I'm going to show you in Genetic Matrix, you will most likely need a paid pro account for that. I highly recommend it. It's totally worth it. And this here is my tropical chart, okay? And what is very beautiful is that you can actually also see your tropical or your general, normal, traditional Gene Keys profile in here as well. And you just click on here and you type Gene Keys and then you can pull it up. I'm not going to do this right now because that is also the Gene Keys profile you have on the Gene Keys website. I have an account already because I have purchased several of the sequences. I'm a Gene Keys guide myself. I have been absolutely loving all of the Gene Keys, all the contemplations. And when you enroll in one of the sequences, like the Pearl sequence, for example, then the program is so beautifully designed that when you start to contemplate the vocation, which is the first Gene Key of the Pearl sequence, then it will automatically give you the audio for the 40th Gene Key. And then you will read the insights about line 6 in this case, right? But like I said, Analena, right now, I'm going to do my Pearl sequence, not with those Gene Keys, but with my True Sidereal Gene Keys. So how do I do that? Now, I want to emphasize, I already created another video, and I'm going to put that here in the show notes, how you can manually actually pull your True Sidereal or Cosmic Gene Keys profile. And I went over all of the steps because you can pull your Cosmic Human Design chart on the Cosmic Human Design website. Very easy to do. And I'm just going to give you a quick refresher here that you have to make sure you enter the UTC time because it's not asking you for the actual place where you were born. And if you have Genetic Matrix, you will see the UTC time under birth date, right? So I was born in Germany at 4 a.m., but the UTC time, which I believe is the one in England, at that time was 3 a.m. And sometimes it can be a different day. It could be the day before, right? Or the day after, depending in what area in the world you live in. So for that, again, I encourage you to check out the other video that I already did about how you can actually manually, with the Cosmic Human Design website that is totally for free, anybody can pull this up, how you can manually create your Gene Keys profile. Now, for those of you that have the Genetic Matrix Pro, and you want to know, okay, how can I get my True Sidereal or Cosmic Human Design chart actually in Genetic Matrix? because many of you have asked me this already, and I'm showing you what I know to the best of my knowledge at this time. And I have received this information from many people that have been working with Cosmic Human Design for quite some time. And also there's a Facebook group called Cosmic Human Design. So Richard Mason is the person that has created the Cosmic Human Design website, which again is human design just based on the True Sidereal astrology, which at this point in my life resonates more with me. But again, there's no right or wrong. And he also mentioned something about the 31.72 in there. That is a number apparently that we can make a manual adjustment in genetic matrix. And I'm going to show you now how you can do this. So what you want to do, you will go on the left here, you will go to settings, okay? And you click on that. And then you scroll all the way down, and then at the bottom here, so first for the Astro HD tropical chart setting, you want to select the house system as equal. So using equal house system in True Sidereal astrology. And I know this says tropical, but this is just for the house system. And then under the Astro HD Sidereal chart settings, you want to make sure that here, the first one, you select the user-defined SVP. SVP stands for Sidereal Vernal Point. So I think the default is usually the Fagan-Bradley. So most likely, if you do it for the first time, it will be on Fagan-Bradley, and then you have to just go all the way down here and select user-defined SVP. And then here, you put in this number, right? You cannot leave it blank, but I have put in 31.72. Now, there are some people that use 31.73, 31.74. This can create minor shifts. I have found that the 31.72 is very identical to my chart that I get when I put my birth information on Cosmic Human Design. But this is the best I know. And based on the year somebody's born, this number can change. I don't have the accurate information or algorithm to give you at this point. What happens if somebody was born in 2020, for example? Because this number changes because due to the precession of the equinoxes, I think about every 70 years, there is about 1 degree of change, right? So this number will slightly shift. I was born in 82, and kind of around these years, even like 10, 15 years before and after, it seems to be fairly accurate. So once you do that, you hit update here. And then it says genetic matrix, okay, successfully updated, you hit okay. And then you go back to your charts and people, right? And now, as you can see, my human design chart looks very different, right? Because what I did here, I already did this. I changed from tropical to true sidereal, and I always select the last one, see Chimenti. Chimenti is the person that has created the true sidereal astrology version. And you will have to select it because it always goes by default to tropical. But once you select it, then you will get your, what we call your cosmic human design chart. Now, if you want to be accurate, which for me is kind of a big thing, I do highly recommend that you go to the Cosmic Human Design website and double check and verify that this is correct. So here I entered my information, my year of birth, the month, the day, and also the time of the birth. And like I said before, so you have to make sure you select the UTC time, which is 3 a.m. So really, and I also check the day because it could be it's February 3rd. It's a day before or after, depending how far away from the UTC time zone you were born. So really, really double check it. I know many people that I have worked with already, they got it wrong. So, and this is the reason why you don't have to put the place or the city you were born here, right? So then you hit submit, and then you will get your cosmic human design chart. And this is right now just for verification purposes, right? And where you want to look specifically at is the moon gates. Yeah, because the moon is the fastest moving planet. It moves through about, I think, 3 gates per day. So here is where is the most likelihood that something is slightly off. So I have in my unconscious 37.6 and my conscious moon the 2.4. And it's actually the same here, 37.6 and 2.4. And then I kind of look over the chart, make sure it has the same channels. I'm a 5-1 generator, sacral authority. Sun gate is in 38, had an ajna defined, undefined throat, defined root, spleen, and sacral and G center. So you can obviously print it out and look at this. And obviously I'm very, very familiar with human design charts by now. But really take your time to verify that everything looks correct. Because just to tell you what can happen, especially if you have a gate here in the 37.6, right? It's already at the last line. It could be very likely that it already in your genetic matrix, because the number that I gave you, that's a little bit of a approximated value, and the cosmic human design has really the accurate calculations. That's what's my understanding. That's what I have been learning. And Richard Mason has put a lot of time and effort into that. So I would always verify it with a cosmic human design. So I think that's very important. And it could be that the moon in genetic matrix is already in the next gate. I don't know right now from the top of my head which gate that would be, but then in the line 1, right? So that could mean in my case that gate 37 is no longer defined. And let's just assume it would be instead it's gate 21. If it would be gate 21, then I would have a defined throat center and defined ego center in the chart. And all of a sudden it would be a manifesting generator, right? So this is a little bit more advanced. This is really for all of you folks that are a little bit more advanced with human design, because you have to have a little bit of, the knowledge of what actually happens in the chart when some of these gates change, and this understanding that the moon is one of the fastest moving planets. And I have seen some charts where they were the same type, right? But because let's say the moon gate was 1 gate off because it was in the line 6 in the cosmic, but then in genetic matrix, it already switched to the next one. And then they had gate 55 defined, and all of a sudden they had emotional authority in genetic matrix, but I still went with the cosmic human design chart with that, right? Now, that's just a really finer nuance, but I wanted to explain it to you guys if you're interested in high accuracy and what to look out for, right? But now, for the purpose of this video, I was just talking about the Pearl sequence, right? And if you have watched the other video that I did about how to create your cosmic or true sidereal Jinky's profile, then you will already know how everything looks like. And I'm also just going to pull up here right now my cosmic Jinky's profile. So here we go, right? Here's my cosmic Jinky's profile now, which obviously is very different from what I have in the tropical version in the Jinky's, right? But since I have this, I know this is what I want to use now to do my contemplations with the Pearl sequence that's coming up. So when we start to go into the vocations in my system, it will give me the 40, and it will give me the audio of the 40th Jinky. But on the Jinky's website, you can also purchase the audio separately. I think it's very affordable. I think it's maybe $2 if I remember correctly. Or if you have the audio version of the Jinky's book, or the white book, the big Jinky's book that's available also has all these contemplations by Richard Rudd. And then there's also the blue Jinky's book, right? So I just have to, it's a little bit more effort on my end, and that I'm consciously aware of, that I'm using now a different Jinky here. And all the 6 lines, they are described anyways in the course of the Pearl sequence in this particular example. So this is how I do it. And then when I come to the culture, instead of before I was the 50.1, I am now going to read the Jinky 6 and listen to the Jinky 6 audio. And the lines, like I said, they're all described in the course anyways. And it's basically just changing the particular Jinkies you are looking at. And I'm very, very excited what it will do for my own journey. And I would love to hear from you guys if this was helpful for you. What do you feel more pulled towards? Are you excited to also start to dive into the gene keys from the true sidereal perspective? And yeah, if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to ask me, because I know this is a little bit advanced, but I also trust that some of you are already really deep into all things human design and Jinkies. And again, it's just opening up a new perspective, right? Because it's still the Jinkies, it's still human design. It's just because we have a different view of the astrology, some things have slightly shifted. And it's almost like you're now looking at yourself from a little bit different perspective. And I have to say, it really resonates with me even more so than the tropical perspective that I have been studying already for a really long time. And the way that I have been experiencing it is that, I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen now, that the true sidereal version of my gene keys and of my human design, and also specifically the astrology, like all three together, they take away the few things that I had in my tropical chart where I still felt like I have to change something, or I felt like I shouldn't be this way. And many other things that I have in my tropical chart are now very similar also in my cosmic or true sidereal human design chart and gene keys chart. But it has a slightly different flavor. It's slightly more accurate for me. It's like the next level of resonance, right? So again, this is my personal experience. I would love to hear yours. And yeah, enjoy this video, watch it again if I went too quick, or if you need to watch some of the steps again. And like I said, feel free to ask me anything.